Okay, in this video today, I'd like to talk about the private practice work that I do, that I've been doing for 34 years at the time of this recording. A lot of the other videos around here before this one are all about the specific topics and relate to tracks on my somatic app. But today I'd like to talk about my private practice that I've been doing 34 years. It is the core of my work. And it's worth listening to because it's amazing how it's built over the years and the results I get with people in various ways. All up, I've probably done over 4,000 hours of training in various therapies. And in the coming videos after this one, I'm going to focus, especially four major ones that I've done. I'm going to focus specifically on each therapy itself. Today I'll cover broadly all of them, roughly how my private practice works, and why it gets great results with people, and why it just continues to go, and why I love it myself. And it's just so rewarding to see people see change and see them blossom and heal things that they've been stuck with for years, decades in some cases. So what I do privately, one-on-one sessions. If I was to see you as a new client, the first thing we'd do would be a trauma history, along with a first session as well. And that normally is about 2.5 hours. And for that, we go way back to when you were conceived and born and all through your whole life. And we look at all the major events, because as you'll notice on my videos here, I've got a strong specialty in trauma. And this is what, especially complex trauma, any trauma really, to the body and mind, because they're the events that have major effects on your whole life. And they're the ones you can't change consciously. You just can't go in there and change the thought. And if you can, then they're not that bad. But I want to focus on the ones that you've been to psychologists for, counselors, and read all the books and been to all the seminars, and I've been through this phase myself, and still the anxiety is still there, or the depression's still there, or the bad behavior or bad habit is still there, or the reactiveness is still there, and you can't change it. What can you do? There are a number of things. So this is the time of recording here. This is the way my practice has evolved. Not that I planned it in the first place. This is just how it's evolved as I've added more and more modalities that have worked best for me and for others. And when I boil it all down, it's down to 4 phases. So it's worth listening to, and you may learn something as well. First phase, when you come to see me, the trauma history, first phase is 3 to 4 sessions, and that is the PSH therapy. It stands for Private Subconscious Mind Healing. Very powerful process that I've been practicing now, since 1996, 97, when I trained. So about 28 years roughly, and it's still the first number one priority choice, best choice therapy to do first with people, because it is just so effective as I've done with thousands of people now. It is the first thing I do. Never was always. Like all the other therapies I've trained in, they all have this specific purpose and specific strength and weakness, and I've put them together in a process that links them beautifully together, where you go from one phase to another. And then once you get the result you want, you just stop. You don't have to go through all 4 phases. But the first phase, the best one, is PSH therapy. And I'll talk about that in another video. It'll be the next video you'll probably see here. And that's 3 sessions. Just 3 sessions with a couple of follow-up calls after a month and 2 months. And 50-60% of the people I see, normally those 3 sessions shifts the issue that they're trying to resolve, whether it is deep anxiety or long-term depression even, funny enough, or some major habit or some major negative reaction that you can't change. This process is powerful, and I'll talk about that more in another video in more detail, which you'll find probably here where you're viewing this one. So that's what I do with people. 50-60% of people, off they go. That's all they've got to do, and it's very valuable, very affordable, because it's only 3 sessions. 2 to 2.5 hours first one, hour and a half second, hour and a half third. If we do the third, maybe a fourth, and there's a 2-month break to see how it's all going. If after 2 months we do a couple of follow-up calls, see how you're going. If you're feeling like, yeah, this is great, things are improving, don't need to come back, and keep going. If you feel like, not 100% yet, there's still something stuck, yeah, some improvement, but not really moving enough, we make an assessment on the phone as to how you've been progressing. And if we decide that, yeah, you are stuck, there is something more there, or something more is coming up that needs addressing, need more help with, we go to phase 2. And that is my somatic training, 3 years of a somatic experiential psychotherapy that I did. Very powerful basis of following the sensations in the body. And a lot of the meditation tracks that you'll find on my website and my meditation app will go back to a lot of that training. That was a very in-depth, broad introduction to deep somatic work on how to get people to free up and be psychodynamic as well, to really be there in contact with me. And you do start feeding back. With PSH therapy, you don't have to say a thing. It's like a meditative process. You close your eyes, relax back, that's it. Nothing you've got to say. And it's really you healing yourself. And that's the best approach initially, to access your inner resources, to create the conditions for you to heal yourself, which is why it's the first thing I do with everybody. And that is very powerful. If that's not enough and you do need a bit more guidance, we'll go to the second stage, which is the somatic therapy. And for that, your eyes are closed again, and I'm guiding you through your body like I some sort of do in my meditation classes, mindfulness that I run online. Only you're feeding back what's happening, and I'm adjusting. We're adjusting as we go to keep you in your body. And at some point, you get that release where the aha, that something releases in your body. And that's normally another 3-4 sessions as well. And we give it another month's break after that, or 2 months, to see how that's going. And often there's another 10% or so. They think, yep, great, work, fantastic, feel great. I've done it, and off they go. If you come back and if you feel it's still stuck, and normally what happens at this phase, this is we're going into the third, leads into the third phase, is that as we do the somatic work, memories will start to pop up. PSH, we don't focus on memories. We let your body fully heal naturally, which is why a big percentage you will do it. Your subconscious will heal it. But the second phase, where I've got to zoom in with you a little more, then chances are that one particular memory will just keep popping up, one traumatic memory that really is a major thing. Then I'll switch to phase 3, which is all my sensory motor training that I did years ago. Pat Ogden's work in America there, a whole year of deep, in-depth, how to take this one event that just keeps coming up, that you can't forget, or even comes up in your dreams, even possibly, or during the day, or like flashback sort of thing. As you're going into your body, things will reveal. And if there's this one major event and it's obvious that this is the stumbling block, then I switch to phase 3, where we take that one event, we stretch it right out, and rather than have you recall it all at once, we take one split second at a time, pause, take 1 second at a time. So if it's a car accident and it happened in the afternoon, we'll start from the morning where you wake up, you're getting up to have a shower, and we pause there and let your body release because it knows what's coming. Let the memory and the fight-flight release in your body while your eyes are closed. Then we go forward another few seconds where you have your shower and you go and get dressed, and the body will release more if you're in connected deep enough. We don't even have to go to the event where you got hit by the car. As we move along, you're getting into the car, driving along the road. At some point, there's this full release that happens. And that could take 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions. We don't know. It varies with everybody depending on the intensity of that event. And we stick with that event till we've flushed it out of your system. And often what will come up is the emotional response to the accident afterwards. So you've got the physical trauma, and then you've got the developmental trauma that happened afterwards, how you were treated by doctors or friends or people first on the scene or family afterwards, and how you recovered. That can have a major trauma as well. And then once that shifts, then often the issue is gone then. If it's still an issue and if it's still a problem, after we've done that piece of work, then you've still got that thing that's just not changing, not shifting. Then we go to phase 4, and that's the radix body psychotherapy work. That is the biggest training that I've done. It's the most intense, it's the most detailed. And normally when we get to that phase, people have got some trust in me. I've done it all myself as a client, so I know it well. And they're ready to go there because they know, okay, this is pretty big and we've really got to go there. And for that work, often it becomes hands-on. And normally on mat work as well, where you're laying down. Sometimes there's exercises standing, but it's a lot more intimate, a lot more closer. And I'm observing your body even more precise, even more detail, and I'm right up close there, hands-on, protecting you. And often it's inner child work, what comes up in that work. It's that inner child when you're 1 or 2 or even a baby, and you just need to touch. And touch is a very powerful antidote to trauma that children never got, or you never got possibly, or felt lost and alone, and there was no one there to hold on to, so you could discharge all that fear, all that anger, all that pain of neglect or abandonment that you just needed safety to find for your nervous system to feel safe again. So that's the radix body psychotherapy work. And there's a lot more to that, and I'll have another whole video just on that. So they're the 4 phases, and they're all linked together. They tend to go roughly in that order. Of course, everyone's different and not necessarily going to do that. But on average, if you look at the median of what happens in most cases, that's the way it normally goes. And that's, like I said, 4,000 hours of training there over 10, 20 years and ongoing. I've been a client of myself of all those therapies, so I know exactly what it feels like. I know exactly the benefits that I've gotten from it. Absolutely phenomenal. The physical health, the mental health, the emotional health is just mind-blowing. And what's common about all these therapies is that they're non-cognitive. That's my specialty, body-based, somatic-based, not labeling and creating what can you do to cope and all sorts of things. And it's not psychology, it's not even counselling, even though some of that's in there. That's a small part of it. The majority of it is you coming into your body and healing yourself. That's the key. Guide you to heal yourself and to get the missing experience you didn't get from a caregiver back then when you really needed it. So that's what I do. That's a big mouthful of 40 years of practicing and work. And like you'll see now in videos to come after this, I'll break it down to taking each of those phases and really describing it really well for you. And notice what comes up for you, what give you those possibilities of what's possible to heal. And of course, I'm not healing you, you're healing yourself, you're fixing yourself. That's the whole premise of it. I'm just there to guide you, make it feel safe enough for you to go to where you couldn't go, where you needed to go to heal the trauma, that fight, flight, and cowering sort of response in the body to actually feel safe and release all that and then come back to that homeostasis balance again. Okay, quick summary of what I do, and thanks for listening.